Hello there, YouTube. This is Sibbles and Bits back at it again with a month of Aces and Adventures. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a deck showcase, our first attempt at this, and it's probably going to be a little bit janky, but just bear with us. Today we're going to be looking at No Surprise to Leilah deck. Anyways, so technically Leilah is at level 30. We're just going ahead and rolling with that from now on. I have quite a few decks here that I've been trying out, pretty much in the 3 archetypes that I see. I see a couple of other ones in the cards that I'm starting to get right now. One thing to note is that in 35 hours of the game, which I would consider quite a bit for where we're at, we could technically be further, but, you know, when most of our playtime was us just smashing our face up against, summer difficulty at level 0, no custom decks, then, you know, we do have a bit of conflated time in there, so I'd say that we have about, like, an average person would have played around, like, 20, 25 hours here. And even still, there's just quite a few cards that I wish that I had, quite a few cards that I don't have enough of that I wish I had more of, stuff like that. So there's still quite a bit of refining to be done with these decks, but at least they've got somewhat of a shape. And I've been working on them, trying to get them to, feel a little bit better. Today we're going to be showing it off in War of the Branches Spring. That's pretty much been my litmus test. If I go into War of the Branches Spring and it feels like Suffer at level 30, obviously something's wrong with it and we need to adjust it a bit. If it starts feeling good there, then we bring it up to Autumn not Spring, Summer. And then if it doesn't feel like Suffer in Summer and it feels like about, like maybe a 50-50, we could win, we could lose, needs a little bit more tuning. After we feel like we're reliably beating Spring, then we go, Summer. Then we go up to Autumn, start playing around in there since that's the highest difficulty that we have right now. And so today we're going to be running a deck I call the Shuffle Cut, which is basically going to be, air quotes, normal Leilah, or Leilah as far as we were playing them with, base level, base deck. The one thing to note here is that we have taken out quite a bit of what I would call burst spike / ability damage, and pretty much just leaning into the entire idea of just being defensive, playing around with our deck so that we have better hands, they have worse hands, and just always winning through that way. What I would call typical Leilah stuff. Stuff like Wild Range, stuff like reshuffling our hand, stuff like making them discard their hand. And we'll go ahead and talk through quite a bit of these. Change of Heart just allows us to overdraw 3 cards. It's async, so we can use it as a reaction if we've got a bad defense and all of a sudden they're hitting us with, say, a 3 of a kind. This is a way for us to get out of that. If we already have a 2 pair, we might draw another thing that we can use, or it's just a way to cycle bad cards out of our hand if our ability hand gets a little bit full. Clone +1 just allows us to clone any card in our hand at the cost of a club, which generally speaking, as you can see here, we don't really have to have specific suits a lot as Leilah, or at least as this Leilah, because, well, a lot of her stuff is free, because she wants to, build her hands. Some of her, like, higher level stuff, like, say, Brass Bangles, Bronze Column here, there's even one that has, like, a 5-card cost. Generally speaking, though, she only uses, like, say, 1 card, 2 cards. Ebb is technically X cards, and Ebb +1 is 3 cards, but what those are doing is cycling out her cards. And so she's very good at that, again, keeping as much in her hand as possible so that she can get the 3 of a kind, or the flush, or the full house, and then smack somebody with it for like 5 damage. And Clone helps us do that because if you have 2 cards, you can clone it into a 3 of a kind. It's also got async, so if something attacks you, you have a 3 of or a pair. Now it's a 3 of a kind, or you can turn it into a full house, anything like that. Clone 2 just allows us to do the same thing with any face card for free. It's a little bit more restricted, but again, your defensive top pair or top card is generally going to be like your face cards. You want to keep your aces, your kings, queens, stuff like that in your hand defensively. And so this allows you to just have one less and still be good. We only have one of those though, which is unfortunate. We also have access to dark mirrors, which allows us to pretty much take one of our cards and turn it into a card that the enemy has, and it's on defense only. So the notable thing here is that if we're, say, they attack us with 2 6s and we only have 1 6, we can just take the 6 from their hand and beat them. Or if we already have a king and we don't have a good pair, then we could take their king if they have one and beat them with it. So again, just utilizing Leilah's ability to manipulate the game defensively to just win through that. Dark Mirror has pretty much the same idea, except it's towards the end of the round. Again, technically the same thing. It requires a black suit instead of any card, and the fact that it's till the end of the round means that, well, we could grab an ace from first strike and then use it against them. It's, again, technically the same thing. I've been feeling it out. Dark Mirror +2, though, is definitely one that I'm excited about because it allows us to permanently clone a card from the attacker's hand. So if they have any ace, king, or queen, we can just go ahead and pluck that for any diamond. And then it stays in our deck permanently, which is, again, pretty exciting. I only have one of these too. Wish I had more of those. Otherwise, Ebb is just redraw any amount of cards in your hand, basically. Ebb +1 is 3 for 3 cards, and draw an ability. Echoes allow me to draw off the top of my ability discard, so it allows me to get access to all these things more often. So we've got 3 of those. And our 2 buffs is Gemini's Mirror, which requires a quad, which is generally difficult, except for the fact that, well, hopefully not, because we're Leilah. If we have a quad, then we're able to install this buff, which makes our pairs deal double combat damage. I don't know how double-double works. I'd like to figure that out, but this is just in here to take a look at it. If we never use it, then we can always just mulligan it or something. Glamour is just our way to get out of combat that we, for whatever reason, cannot win. Haste is after we successfully attack, we redraw all cards used and get an additional attack. It just gives us a way to be a little bit more offensive. Scry is a buff that allows us to see the top 3 cards on the decks at all times, so if for whatever reason the enemy has, let's say, after our offense we attack them, they're going to have 3 defense. We can see their entire defensive hand, which is helpful, and we can see 3 of the cards that they're going to attack us with. Shatter is another defensive. It removes all hearts from the attacker's hand and then deals damage to them equal to the hearts removed. It's basically just another way to deal retaliation damage. Shimmers, I believe, are in the base Leilah deck, so you should know about them. Wild Range +2 for a club. And then, of course, Shimmer +1 is Wild Range +1 and Wild Suit for a club. Shimmer +2 is just convert a club into a wild card. And so we just have an amount of these to help us get whatever hands that we need for attack or defense because they are async. And then we have the ability to turn any card into a wild card. Hopefully that wasn't a long explanation. We'll get into it. And I'll also explain the level ups as we go. Unfortunately, they haven't added the quality of life to where you can look at all of a character's level up traits inside the deck builder. That would be incredibly nice. But again, it's not going to look too different from what we would usually take.
I can tell your fortune if you'll show me your hand.
This is interesting. So we almost have a flush here. So what we could do is open the first combat, turn this into a wild suit with our ability and just flush the enemy. Or we could keep these aces, because that's a good defensive pair. I think we're fine with
Now I'm
this.
perfect.
And obviously, what we're going to take with this deck is likely more hand size. I could also see Radiance for +1 combat damage just in general, because this also works on defense. I've been sort of waffling between the two of these. You could also argue that if we have Scry in place, that makes the second half of this card useless. May view the top card of all decks, and especially because we don't have any top deck effects. But I honestly feel like +1 max hand size is one of the best stats in the game that you can get. So, I mean, I'm almost willing to take it for that. But I suppose just to sort of feel it out and have you guys take a look at it and not have me, just always playing with this, we will go ahead and take Radiance.
There is an
Another thing to note is that I kind of like going to this card shrine straight away, or this path. The early card shrine, when I have a hand like this, is interesting because I could potentially copy an ace or give a king +1 wild range. But we're probably going to spend this hand right away, so that kind of brings that down a little bit. What I could potentially do is go to the ability shrine and reduce the cost of 2 of our abilities, which would pretty much just be Shimmer, but having Shimmer for free as well is kind of nice. Otherwise, we go this path, and this path has a level up on it, so we'd be able to level up to 3 by here, and then all of these levels up here become equipment, which allows us to just pretty much scale out of control, because equipment is basically what makes you hecka powerful in this game. If we go this route, though, we get a merchant early, so we could draw 2 abilities here, somehow beat these 2 fights without using as many abilities, and then just buy stats at the merchant. The pathing here is actually very interesting, by the way, because in spring it was just like, the one path, which was nice, but you pretty much only get like a couple of options that you're really choosing between. Once you get up to the upper difficulties and you have these different branches that actually have their own benefits, it starts to get a little bit more complicated when you're in War of the Branches. Because we could get an equipment this early. We'll go this path, though.
You must be punished. Just a little nudge.
Now, see, if we would have went to the other side, though, we probably could have finished this fight without using our wild card, and then we'd have another wild card in our deck. Meep map. We also had Ebb, so we could have fished for it. I guess that's something that I didn't consider. Oh, that won't work. Don't know why I'm thinking about doing that. Well, I guess we could use both Shimmers to bring it up. I'm actually willing to take 1 damage for this. Double Queen? What the heck?
You cannot trust your eyes. Charmed, I'm sure. I wield the mirage.
No? Alright.
I'll tell you when you've won. My wish is your command.
this is a quite interesting hand here.
By the ebbing tide.
Well, it's something.
Fate is what I make it. Fate? Charmed, I'm sure.
Interesting, Nullify Club. Okay. We have Dark Mirror up. So that's nice. I don't know if we actually have anything else that we could potentially do. If we attack with this, then we no longer have Dark Mirror to be able to take a... I don't think I've seen any of your aces, have I? And you attack with 7. We honestly might just want to sit tight here. I'll tell you what though, I'll take that king. Then if we do that, we can block here. Otherwise, I'm thinking I don't want to use my Fate Weaving yet.
I wield the mirage.
Because these guys have 9 attack, we're going to get absolutely smattered here with stuff like that. Oh boy. I legitimately don't think that there's anything we could do there. We could potentially shimmer up here, Fate Weaving this block. That might have to be the move. Because we can't Glamour.
I wield the mirage. Just a little nudge. Ha!
Okay, that's a little better.
I wield the mirage.
Might have been better just to cancel combat there.
You must be punished. Time to give fate a
I'll tell you
hand.
what, this is actually feeling quite suffer. It's usually not this bad. That very well may be because I didn't take the +1 hand size, though. Wow. Okay.
I am as the desert breeze.
I honestly might get bopped here. Hmm. I don't think I thought that one through. Yeah, we're definitely getting bopped here. Just wasted our trump card.
Charmed, I'm sure. feast your eyes. Ha! Now it's my turn.
Yeah, I can't think of what it could possibly be besides that hand size, because... But then again, like, this fight definitely feels like it's built different. Just gonna go ahead and steal that ace if you don't mind.
Just a little nudge. Ha! I am as the desert breeze.
What's our map look like? Just a normal fight. It's gonna be a while. So I'm gonna just go ahead and blow this thing up. Which was pretty much entirely necessary, but I need an actual hand. Having an ace in there helps. I think I honestly have to rest here, which is a little unusual.
Allow me to compose myself.
Okay. Glamour's fine. Might be a while before we get quads. Let's get that out of our hand. Watch us draw quads.
You must be punished.
Alright.
By the ebbing tide. Ha! Now it's my turn. By the ebbing tide.
Alright, what do we want to deal with our... This is cards, right? It's abilities. Well, I'll tell you what, actually. Let's reduce the cost of Glamour and Wild. Because that seems pretty frickin' good to me. -1 ability hand size. Discard all abilities and draw to max ability size at the start of your turn. That's wild. What? Sure, why not? We're going crazy.
Charmed, I'm sure.
See, look at that. Let's get a buff in place. I can beat you with a high card. So we will. Let's go ahead and
By
ebb
the
both of
ebbing
these.
tide.
Let's go ahead and ebb
Can't use
this.
that right. By the ebbing tide.
Oh, that worked out. Might as well fate
Time to
weaving.
give fate a hand.
What are we doing? Wow, we really screwed that up. Oh, man. Alright,
By the ebbing tide.
let's try and fix this. We didn't fix this? Alright, just give me a jack, we'll block.
My wish is
I should have brought the jack up, copied the king. But I didn't, so here we are. What do we got here? Give me this. There we go.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Alright, what do we got here? We got the ability to copy any card from the attacker's hand. Include a card in our hand. We got access to haste. Okay. So we're going to take the kings. We'll get an ace. They could beat us. Nope. That's one ace down. Huh. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually end turn here, which seems like a waste. Oh, look at that. I'll take that ace permanently. It's mine. And then if I take your king, give you that, then I can hit you with it. Oh, we love it. Alright, alright. We've got a defensive. We have haste again. Yo, actually, that event was crazy. I think it just breathed new life into us. Okay. Yo, what?
Time for a change.
Okay, we can make you only have high card. It's about the best we can do. So we want to keep the king. I'm going to do this then.
I'll tell you when you want.
Wait, weaving this. I don't know what the heck I just did. Ah, we can do this though.
I wield the mirage. Now it's my turn.
We can cancel combat for free. This isn't really a hand for this. Let's go ahead and do this.
By the ebbing tide.
You would literally take no damage if I hit you with this.
By the ebbing tide.
Okay.
You must be punished.
One thing to note though is that Radiance has been allowing us to deal damage to both Flyers and this Dark Mastery here. So, something that I haven't actually thought about before. Convert a card into a wild card. That would allow us to get a straight.
I only grant my own wishes.
Huh. Huh. Well, we can bring it down to a 2-pair with Shimmer,
I wield the mirage.
and we might as well. Then we can dismantle
What
this.
I make it. I can't use that.
Oh, that's not...
right now.
Okay. I didn't realize
I am
Echo
as
was
the
an
desert
async.
breeze.
At least we're able to get out of that. What do we got here? Not really much of anything. Hello? Oh, it's not a face card. Of course. I am a fool.
By the ebbing tide.
Okay. Too bad we don't have that quads card. You will not be able to block me. You'll try. Alright. Let's actually gain our level 2.
Fair.
So, with this deck, I honestly think that all these are pretty good. Mistress of Hearts obviously makes it better for us to get to pairs, straights, threes of a kind, and just pretty much like beat out our opponent. Obviously, Mirage allows us to take our three of a kinds or even our pairs, and pairs beat their high cards, three of a kinds beat their pairs, etc., etc. It's like pretty self-explanatory, but it allows you to deal quite a lot of defensive damage and end fights pretty quickly when you set yourself up correctly, especially when you take the level 3 that gives all of your diamonds wild suit. You just get a lot of flushes because you've technically taken one suit in the deck and just completely eliminated it for the purposes of flushes. Mistress of Hearts also definitely helps with when you take that as well, because then not only do your hearts have wild range +1, but your diamonds, when they turn into hearts due to wild suit, are now hearts, so they get wild range +1 as well. So that also helps you set up like straights. And then of course, if we wanted to be more offense oriented, being able to use our abilities for free is kind of nice, except that a lot of our abilities don't have costs. So it's a little bit wasted on this deck, but on like say curse decks or nuke decks for Leilah, Ring of Clarity is very good because of the fact that you pretty much just use your talent offensively in that purpose. You nudge something into even like say a high pair, hit something with it, and then you go ahead and just hit him with an 8 damage nuke. We're not really going to take that this time. We're probably going to either go for Mirage or Mistress of Hearts. We're going to go ahead and... I want to say Mistress of Hearts. It's just transformative how good that is. Excuse me.
Time for a change.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
My wish is your command.
God, that's so close.
By the ebbing tide.
That's pretty good too. Okay. This is actually like... it's one away from being a flush.
I am as desert breeze.
And we don't really care about any of these. We can just go ahead and bop you with these 2 jacks. Alright. Already getting pretty powerful here. Let's go ahead and hit this event, make it even more spicy. Discard all abilities to gain +1 max ability hand size. Joke's on you, motherfucker. We were gonna discard all of these anyways.
A new
Oh. Fuck you, game.
charmed, I'm sure.
I didn't mention it. And while I was in the deck section, I had a note too in my head, but I just didn't talk about it because I was too busy talking about all the cards. But since this came up, this allows me to talk about it here. I'll probably make sure to note it in the beginning of another like deck video in the future. But this fight here with disenchanting occurs quite a bit. And so I like to have somewhere around 2 decks or 2 buffs in each deck because you're going to lose your buffs like fairly regularly. And due to the fact that, well, having buffs is nice. Now, on characters that don't get a benefit for replacing their buffs, like on Leilah, I think maybe Ravenmeyer doesn't have any that he gets benefits for replacing his buffs, but Nazim has, mage armor that gives him 2 shields whenever he replaces it. And Magnor has a whole bunch of stuff like draw an ability or get an additional attack when you replace it or gain shields. So those characters I would probably have like a little bit more than 2 cards in your deck that are buffs. But generally speaking, you don't want to have like a ton of buffs in your hand because then they're not doing anything. Shaylin also has a lot of buffs that just disappear after her conditions are met, like when she does damage or at the end of the turn. And so those you could probably fit a couple more in there because you're actively getting like the ability to feel like you can play them. But like obviously we would love to play Gemini Mirror, but otherwise like having Scry as our buff is perfectly fine, and so I feel pretty good about that. That said, can we actually get Gemini Mirror in play? I don't think so. I suppose what I could do is clone something 3 times. After all, why shouldn't I have it? Okay. So then we're going to go ahead and clone this. I'm going to echo it. Clone it again. So now we can play this. Our pairs now deal double combat damage, which occurs after Radiance. So we're actually dealing like a truck ton of damage. And then while we're at it... Oh, that's where that goes. God damn it. That's my bad. We're going to hope not to get hit here. Especially by something like that. Well, we're going to glamour that one. This, I think we can... This would go 10 Jack. That wouldn't quite get us there. We can't defend better because we didn't take that. We took Mistress of Hearts. This will get us there. But I want... all that in hand. And the reason is I want a Dark Mirror that permanently. Everything's coming up aces. And then I guess I'm going to Fate Weaving this.
Just a little nudge.
And it's just straight up dead.
You must be punished.
I mean, there's really not much we can do. What we're going to do is just hit you with a pair. which is going to do 6, then we'll just get you on the retaliate here.
I'll tell you when you've won.
Oh, we have a wild card in hand, so we're actually going to take this card shrine. Create a copy of it.
My wish is your command.
Armor penetration. We don't use shields. Okay, so. That's it's a little funny, honestly. It's also a little awkward, to be honest. Oh, because we can just wildcard into 6s. Of course. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll bop it. We'll haste it, because we have it. Now we already have a triple here. Yeah, sure, why not? Excuse me, I'd like to see the top of the deck. Oh, we don't have that, because we swapped it out for Gemini Mirror. We'll be fine. Kind of want to get you with a pair, actually. Like, we might as well. Excuse me?
I should match the number of cards in the attack.
Oh, no. You fucked up. And I feel like we want to go to Merchant because we always have... I guess we don't always have max hand size. But since we're going to discard these anyways, we might as well get something for it. And... if we're cheating on offense now, like there's really no reason for us to have weapon. We'll just take armor. And it really doesn't matter which of these we get rid of. And sure, we might as well grab that. Just in case we somehow have a stupendous turn or something.
Now it's my turn.
We've got a Dark Mirror +2 again. I accept your attack, fools. But that also means that we kind of have to have a diamond in hand. So let's get rid of these.
By the ebbing tide.
There's a diamond.
I wield the mirage.
So let's turn this into a wild card and beat you with it. Oh. You piece. Okay. Attack us with an ace, please. That is not an ace. You can have this instead. You're really going to be this way? There's an ace. I want that. Then I'll beat you with it.
You must be punished.
I want my whole hand to be aces, if you haven't realized. Clone a card in your hand. Well, if you insist. Haste? I mean, I don't really need to haste again, but, like, sure. Probably should have kept that wild card in hand. Was a bit silly of me. Was too busy popping off. The heal is nice.
I am as the desert breeze.
Excuse me. Okay, so we want to use as many abilities as possible if we don't want to constantly get hit by these 11 attacks. It's a little rude, not gonna lie. Okay, so if that is the case, let's turn this guy into a wild.
I only grant my own wishes.
Blow this guy up. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these on defense against this man. I guess this one isn't too bad. We can keep that. We can keep... Like, do we honestly have to? Wild's async. This isn't. We probably should have used that. I don't know. I'm gonna be a little bit
You cannot trust your eyes.
froggy about it. Double kings, that's fine. Oh, that's not fine though. Guess we'll just clone that.
By the ebbing tide.
I'll clone card from the attackers, of course. Keep forgetting what my cards do now. Y'all are frickin' rude. Oh, well, that's 2 damage. Not much we can do about it.
Now it's my turn.
Alright. What do we got here? That's Echo. I mean, we could infinite Echo, but why? I mean, it's kind of weird because we don't want to overkill, because that makes all these things heal, but I think we're going to have to just because of how much damage we naturally do. We're going to have to do this the long way.
By the ebbing tide.
I like those.
Time for a change.
I really like those.
I wield the mirage.
Just getting rid of abilities. Okay.
I am as the desert breeze.
Why is there so many shimmers? Hold up. If we give Wild Suit to a club, no, that's not going to do anything. God, we just have like nothing. In fact,
By the ebbing tide.
there's something.
By the ebbing tide.
I don't want that. Oh, right. We don't have defend better. Yeah, sure, why not?
My wish is your command.
All right.
I only grant my ebbing tide.
Excuse me?
Charmed, I'm sure.
I probably could have gotten that. In fact, I'm almost certain I could have gotten that. Anyways. No.
Fate is what I make it.
Let's just get our level 3 right away.
Day older.
So, I'm thinking with the way that we're playing, Celerity is, like, this is one of my reasons that I really like this deck in particular, is because it's very fluid, flexible, whatever you want to call it. Right now, we're able to get attacks of 3 or more cards quite regularly, especially because we've been stealing, like, a lot of aces from the opponent. We've got access to 3 wild cards. It's incredibly easy for us to get attacks of 3 or more, which, of course, give us an additional attack, so that we can just keep rifling these off and potentially just be really aggressive. Whim of the Wind, there is a couple of events that make it so that they cull like an entire suit out of your deck, or make it so that you only have like 2 suits. That makes Whim of the Wind like very good. If we did have access to being able to look at our top deck because of Scry, we would know ahead of time what exactly our crit is going to be on, so then we could make sure that we go for that particularly. We've got double damage on our pairs, +1 damage on our pairs, and potentially, if it's the correct color on both of them, it would be 5 times 2 is 10 damage off 1 pair. So, depending on the equipment and stuff that I get, Whim of the Wind can be absolutely ridiculous on this build. Celerity can be ridiculous on this build. Desert Rose is what we're going to go for, though, simply because it's what I was talking about. We're going to go for all these flushes because now our diamonds are wild suits, and it's very easy for us to, again, get those flushes. We see haste quite a bit, too, because of the event that we found, so Celerity felt a little but still could have been very useful. I think maybe what we want to do now is go into this card shrine here and just eliminate clubs and spades if we possibly can, just to enable us to have less cards that are going to get in the way of our flushes.
You must be punished.
Auto Siphon, that's not nice. We can steal another card, though. Oh, too bad we can't echo it. That would be kind of nice. It's going to be a little weird, but bear with me. Look at that. And again, if we had access to Scry, we'd be able to look at our top deck. If we knew that it was a red card, then that would have dealt 10 damage as well. Well, it would have dealt 12, actually, because we also have Radiance. And let me tell you, dealing 10 damage in 1 attack is pretty good. We're good here. Okay, so this is what I'm feeling. We're going to turn you into a wild
Time
suit
to give fate a hand.
so that you can Dark Mirror that ace. And then we're just going to go ahead and block you, I guess.
I am
But now we
as the
permanently
desert
have
breeze.
a Ace of Hearts, which again, hearts and diamonds are especially good for us. Alright. Let's turn this card into a wild card that allows us to get a straight. haste. Alright, what can we do here? Actually, screw it. Give me my haste back. We'll just beat you into submission. I want to keep that. Alright.
Charmed, I'm sure.
And if we were really on top of it, what we would want to do is make sure that we have as many clubs and or spades in our hand at the end of this so that we can mulligan them and cut them completely from our deck. We'll see how that actually works, though. Okay. Fives, huh? Oh wait, no, we don't need that.
My wish is your command.
The problem is that we don't really have nukes, so it's really hard for us to actually set up those sorts of things. Haste? I guess we should have echoed that. Oh man, we're bad. We kind of want to keep our ace though. Oh, I guess we can just block.
Now it's my turn.
Because aces are great. So I think what we're actually going to do is this can be anything. So we're going to use you to clone an ace. Use these aces to kill you. Card Shrine. Mulligan. I don't ever want to see these cards again. We could probably get rid of this ace, actually. I mean, we have 4 of them. Nah, we'll keep it.
You must be punished.
That was odd. Why did I lose my aces? Explain to me. Explain. Anyways. I'm thinking about how we can do this here. Because we're close to a full house. That's honestly primarily what I'm looking at. Is it even worth it for us, honestly? Maybe what we do instead is this.
Time for a change.
I can deal with that. If I could get the Mekatar Axe and then potentially deal, what would it be, 12 damage off of a pair, that'd be kind of nice. Otherwise, how are we going to deal with these? A little awkward.
Time for a change.
There we go. I'm basically willing to do just about anything to make sure that I don't lose my
You
quads
cannot trust your eyes.
or my Gemini mirror.
My wish is your command.
Wow, that's a straight. Trying to think if there's anything else I can do to not just blow them up.
Fate is what I make it.
what I probably should have done. Actually, can I still do it? I can shimmer. Not quite. Make that a king, just hit you with one, I guess.
Now it's my turn.
This is a flush. Nope.
Charmed,
Gonna
I'm
try and
sure.
wrap this up quick. Didn't really expect this to be an hour-long video, but the early game on this one was a little bit rough. Probably should look at the deck then, like I said, because again, this is just summer. Shouldn't be that difficult. His hand is obviously ass. Would love to Dark Mirror a diamond at this point. We have access to haste. We could play around a little bit. Probably should have echoed that haste back. It's a bit late now. Alright. What do we want here? Is 25 mana even, like, close to a level? That always just feels like a bait. Give me equipment. Top deck when you take damage. Heal 1 HP if you draw a red card. Well, we do have more of those.
You must be punished.
Alright. This is so interesting. I mean, let's just bop them up. There's really no reason not to. That's just as much as a pair. Why do I keep doing this? Oh, man.
Now it's my turn.
Keep that for the boss if possible. Guess what we could do.
I wield the mirage.
Oh, I converted it into a wild card. That's fine. Because it's only temporary. I was like, wait, that was a wild card this whole time?
Charmed, I'm sure.
Oh, boy. I hope you have diamonds. Okay, so we know that pairs are better. Like, straight up. So let's throw some pairs around. Excuse me?
I'll tell you when you want.
No. Haste. That's not another pair. Oh, well, let's go for it.
Time for a change.
I think I can work with this. Maybe I can't work with this. Okay, this is going to be weird. Get
I
stuffed.
am as the desert breeze.
Okay, what are we looking at? We have haste. Excuse me, stop.
Just a little nudge.
Fun little boss.
Charmed, I'm
I'm
sure.
a little concerned here, honestly. Especially with this frickin' what is this hand? No.
By the ebbing tide.
No?
By the ebbing tide.
Okay, that's starting to feel a little bit better.
I only grant my own wishes.
Is this something? Like, what is this? What is this? I'm sorry, I'm dicking around. A handful of wild cards? That's got to be worth something, right? Alright, you're upset. I understand. I was kind of being an asshole. How do we deal with this?
Time for a change.
Maybe we deal with this by getting bopped. Really don't know what much else we could do. We could shimmer this up. Clone a 10. I don't know if that actually does anything for us, though.
I wield the mirage.
The main thing we want to do is not get hit here because we have critical combat still in play. So here, I think what the move is to just... does that even work? Not really. If we get rid of this, then you just have high card and... Oh, I guess it's just 2 damage
Time
instead
to
of 4.
give fate a hand.
What else are you going to do?
You must be punished.
Alright. Another Dark Mirror is nice. I mean, that's honestly about all we can do. That's our best hand right there.
I wield the mirage.
Okay.
I am as the desert breeze.
Huh.
I wield the mirage.
Well, honestly, now that that defense aura isn't in place, I think we just kill him.
Now it's my turn.
Yep. I'm sure. A 5 of a kind of wild cards,
The
though.
obvious outcome.
Like, come on, man. Can you give me a little bit more mana than that? See, when we earn 531 in a whole round, I don't see why we would ever take the choice to only get 25 mana off of the path there. Anyways, again, I'll have to try and look through and see what we can do about our deck, because obviously that was incredibly suffer at the beginning. Again, it might have been because we didn't take +1 hand size, but at the end of it, it sort of worked out with the fact that we took +1 damage with pairs and such, because of the fact that we were able to install Gemini Mirror +1 to double our damage. And if we could have gotten a couple of other like equipment in there, that really could have played out. But playing around with the deck was pretty fun, especially when we got the event that allowed us to just recycle our entire ability hand. Like, absolutely ludicrous. Like, honestly, may even have saved the deck. I don't know. Anyways, we'll just click through all of these. Lots of shatter. Interesting. And I like how shatter +1 is just different. It just does the same as shatter, just with diamonds. And the cost associated as well. Shatter +2 is just remove all red cards from the attacker's hand and deal damage. Oh my good lord. Okay. That's a little insane, honestly. Access to another haste is good. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, hopefully the little deck showcase was interesting. If you have any feedback about what you would do with the deck, feel free to leave it down below. The next deck showcase will probably be a Shay Lin deck, just so that you're not always seeing, you know, Leilah playing all the time. As I said, I have 3 decks, and I can already think of like another 2 decks that I would want to do with Leilah. So I'm trying to like space that all out. And right now we should be able to get level 30 on Ravenmeyer, so we'll be able to start, you know, putting some decks from him in there and showcasing some of that. I believe the one after that we are probably going to do is Warrior. We're not doing Nazim last because I don't like him. We're doing Nazim last because he seems very particular about what cards he puts in his deck. And again, after all the time that we put in there unlocking all this stuff, like again, pretty much that would be 90 levels and then another 60 levels, 150 levels. That's not a lot of booster packs actually, and I feel constrained just inside of Leilah's decks. So I can't imagine how constrained I might feel in Nazim's deck. So I want to do him last simply because I don't know, I just feel like he's more particular because of the fact that he doesn't really deal with, well, obviously, if you play around with the decks, he does feel differently, but he feels like he deals more in suits than he does with specific cards. And so, making sure that you got a good balance of suits in your deck seems like it's kind of important. in your ability costs I'm talking about. So, yeah, hopefully we'll, throughout the week and next week, we'll have quite a bit more deck showcases for you guys to look at. And I don't know, maybe at some point we'll be able to get through story mode and we'll be able to show off some winter gameplay for those of you who might be interested in exactly what the top level of the game looks like. And I'm also hoping that we have an update eventually that will be the new content, but that's probably not going to happen by the end of the month. Maybe next month. We'll have to take a look at it. Who knows? Anyways, if you have any feedback whatsoever, either in the way that we presented the deck formats, or the deck itself, or any misplays that we egregiously made during the run, be sure to leave that down below, as well as any questions, concerns, and comments. And until next time, I'll catch you guys around.